What's going on, y'all? This is Everyday Living. The visual, how y'all living. Yo, for real, it's been a lot going on in hip hop this week. A lot has happened. You dig what I'm saying? And we gonna chop up about this for real, and figure out together. Yo,
What's
this
going
week in hip hop, man, a
on?
lot has happened. A lot. Different names, different situations, different sides being picked. You know what I'm saying? You got situations involving Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty. You got things tied into NBA YoungBoy circle with Ben 10, All Star Jr., Dead End Ron, and names like J Prince Jr. being brought into the conversation. I don't know, man. And then you got situations like Offset and Lil TJ. And if you think you're just looking at the surface of things, it feel like it's random drama or whatever the hell case it may be or whatever have, but it's not random at all. It's the same story happening over and over. Just telling you what happened. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and just like leaving it flat out just like that or whatever have you. Let's talk about what's really going something on. Like Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty, right? At first, it looked like a simple situation, right? Artist, mentor, label, business, right? But in hip hop, those lines don't stay clear for long. You dig what I'm saying? Because it's never just business. At the end of the day, there's loyalty involved. There's expectations involved. There's a certain image that you want to maintain. You know what I'm saying? And then when things go exactly how both sides imagined, imagine when they don't go the way that y'all imagine. Imagine that. If it's going the right way and then all of a sudden it don't go that way. That's when the tension starts to build, yo. That's when not always it's not always public at first. You dig? It's behind the scenes. People sit there and be thinking, oh yeah, this is what it is, da, 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 da. But it's not always, the grass ain't always green. You dig? And and that's the first stage of this type of cycle was happening right then now, right? Now when you shift over to the NBA YoungBoy side of things with his circle and what's going on over there, you get names like Ben 10, All Star Jr., and Dead End Ron, and when then you hear the names like J Prince Jr. being mentioned. Now this is when the conversation changes a little because it's kind of weird. This is Texas and Baton Rouge or Louisiana, wherever they from. However, you dig, but it's still an industry, and things get kind of sketchy when you hear J Prince Jr. involved. I'm not gonna lie to you. You dig? So now you're talking about reputation. You're talking about power. You know, and then you're talking about who carries the weight in real life versus the industry. Because this whole situation what went down with them, it seems personal. It's all, of course, it is all the way personal. He tried to take something from another man. You dig what I'm saying? And then he stood his ground and protected himself. But we gonna see how that pan out at the end of the day because we don't know the ins and outs exactly what's gonna happen with that, right? And then when those worlds overlap each other and stuff like that, situations can escalate fast because these is different type of breeds of dudes. Dudes don't know who All Star Junior is like that. They don't know who Dead End Ron is like that, or whatever have you. We heard of NBA Ben 10, but these other dudes is new to us, so the situation gets a little, the plot thickens. You dig? For real, for real. You never really know what's really going on. I hope a speedy recovery for these guys who was involved in this situation. And, you know, I hope that they learn from these situations right here. And now they move a little bit differently. Don't come out the hospital talking extra 10 times tougher than what happened. And come on now. Come on. You got something like Offset and Lil TJ, right? And this is where you really see the modern version of this. You dig what I'm saying? Because now, right, social media is involved. Now everything is public. Everything is in an instant. Everything is amplified more than what it really, really is. You dig? Something small can turn into something big in matter of a post, matter of a comment, a like even, a unfollow. Oh, you didn't follow. You dig what I'm saying? So just based off the perception alone, right? A post, a comment, like I just now said, a misunderstanding can now be a bigger situation overall. You dig what I'm saying? So we gotta look out and watch out for things of this nature. These two dudes, I can imagine these two dudes on a song together rather than beefing with each other. Come on. And it's over money. In which that, y'all make that per minute, per second, to be honest with y'all. You dig what I'm saying? And I applaud you dudes because come on now, man. Y'all are the new black history. For real, for real. If you want to be technical. But here's where people don't really talk about the situations what really go on, right? But all of these situations and the whole 9 yards in which that we endure and we see what's happening with us or whatever have you, they still follow the same pattern. Everybody, every single time this goes down, it don't matter what's going on, right? It starts with association. So check it out. Let me finish what I was saying here. So it starts with association, right? Then it's people linking up, working together, building something, right? Then comes expectation, loyalty, respect, roles being understood, right? Sometimes without being even said, this is all could happen all at the same time. You dig what I mean? Then comes the tension, money, ego, misunderstanding, and then the outside voices. The dudes on the sidelines talking about, damn, I went ahead, or this, that, whatever, right? Then comes the public moment, a post, a clip, a name getting mentioned, something corny in which that somebody gonna fall for the trap, and then now you in my back and forth with somebody else, right? Then comes the escalation of the situation, right? Fans picking sides, blogs amplifying it in the whole 9 yards, narratives being created or torn, personalities being like, you know what I'm saying, your character being like disrespected in the whole 9 yards, right? And then the real consequences follow. For real, for real. It really, really does. If you think it don't, have another idea, boy. Be honest, right? Really, though. And this is the part that people gotta realize. This is really, really the part people gotta realize. This isn't just hip hop. It's not. This is, for real, life. This is our life, for real. Same thing happens in a group of friends. Same thing happens at jobs. You dig what I'm saying? Same thing happens in families. All the time. You dig what I mean? The only difference is that they got millions of people watching it play out in real time. That's the only big difference. They a celebrity and this, that, and the third, or whatever the case would be, the camera on them, spotlight on them, somebody telling their business the news. We want to hear it. You dig? That's what's gonna happen. Right? So yeah. In this week's hip hop, a lot has happened. But if you're really paying attention, it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about understanding the pattern. Understand the pattern, for real. Because until something about this changes or anything like that, the names is going to be the only things that's going to change. The situation will change in the whole 9 yards. But the story going to stay the same all the time. Come on now, y'all. That's what you missed this week. Stay in the loop with us, man. This your boy, and this is Everyday Living. The visual.